I'm Helen Boyle and I'm the Strategic Decarbonisation Manager at Electricity North West. Electricity North West owns, operates and maintains the electricity infrastructure across the North West. So our role is to ensure that the capacity is there in the network for people to use electricity when they require it to help keep their lives running. As we move away from our reliance on fossil fuels to more energy efficient technology, we know demand for electricity, peak demand for electricity, is going to double over the next 20 years or so. So it's a big challenge for us to ensure that the capacity is there, and we're investing £25 million over the next 3 years or so, predominantly in Greater Manchester, to ensure the capacity is there in the network. But this is also a big role for the people of Greater Manchester and for businesses to play their part too. Businesses use 2/3 of the electricity supply in Greater Manchester, so it's really important that they play their part in decarbonising and switching to more energy efficient forms of technology. When we talk to businesses about their decarbonisation plans, what they told us was there was a lot of information out there that was either from suppliers or from academics, and it wasn't necessarily specific for their sector. We've been working with the Tyndall Centre for Climate Science Research over the past year or so, looking at the top 5 things that SMEs can do now to start their decarbonisation journey. Well, initially we focused on 5 business sectors: hotels, offices, manufacturing and warehouses, food retail and food non-retail. And we looked at the things that were energy intensive in those 5 sectors and then ways that they can help to reduce their energy consumption. Some of the small scale changes that businesses can do now are changing their lighting to LEDs and fitting motion sensors, and also replacing electrical equipment such as monitors, appliances and IT equipment, prioritising more energy efficient versions. You can also lower the indoor temperature of a room slightly to save energy, and incentivise colleagues to use public transport. And also think about rolling out carbon literacy training for your people. Larger scale changes include getting ready for electric vehicles and thinking about your electric vehicle charging capacity in car parks, and maximising insulation and minimising drafts in offices and warehouses, and even replacing space heaters with infrared heaters. 2038 isn't that far away, and if we have a target of Greater Manchester becoming carbon neutral by then, and because businesses use 2/3 of the electricity supply, it's really important that they're looking now at ways that they can start to decarbonise, things that they can concentrate on now and invest in on a no regrets basis. So getting ready for electric vehicles is something that we know that businesses will need to play a key role in. Destination charging is going to be very important. So businesses preparing for the mass adoption of electric vehicles is something that they can do right now. And there's more information on our website about how businesses can do that easily and more cheaply. Over the last 18 months or so, since we launched our Leading the North West to Zero Carbon plan at the Green Summit last year, we committed to spend £63.5 million decarbonising our own operations and helping colleagues and businesses and stakeholders and customers to do the same thing. So since then, we've been focused on activity and providing exemplars and case studies for other businesses to take that information and replicate what we've done. We're making 2 of our depots carbon neutral with various different types of technology solutions. We're rolling out electric vehicle charging infrastructure at all of our depots and making that electricity free to all our colleagues who swap to an electric vehicle. We're also incentivising them to change their ICE vehicle to an electric one as well. We're rolling out carbon literacy training to all our senior leadership team. We've also bought 4 electric mini diggers, which have been really popular with our operational teams. So there's a lot that we're doing, and we are continuing to do at Electricity North West to provide that leadership and provide case study, real financial case study information for other businesses to be able to use and replicate.
My name is Mark Collett. I'm an energy surveyor in the accommodation team for Electricity North West, and we're here today at our training academy. This training academy is being developed into a net zero carbon depot, which will be an exemplar site showcasing to other businesses and stakeholders in the North West how they too can decarbonise their own business premises and operations. So here at the Training Academy, it's a purpose-built facility with a mixture of classrooms and workshops that enable hands-on training for engineers that are both apprentices and experienced engineers to learn new skills and qualifications. We've fitted out the building with LED lighting, replacing existing fluorescent bulbs with efficient LED modern alternatives, and we fitted an advanced monitoring system for the building, which allows us to monitor temperatures throughout the classrooms and workshops to make sure that they're being heated efficiently and at a comfortable temperature. And we have an energy monitoring system that allows us to monitor energy in real time to a very fine level and identify where efficiencies can be made in the running of the building. An example of that is we'd be able to identify where lighting systems being on out of hours and in unoccupied spaces, and be able to rectify that and reduce energy in that way. So one of the enhancements we're making here at the Training Academy is the enhancements to our heating and cooling system. This will involve replacing the external condenser units with the latest generation systems that can deliver heat at higher efficiency. Our enhancements to the heating and cooling system will save us just under 5,000 kilograms of CO2 every year. We estimate our new LED lighting will save us 17,000 kilograms of CO2 being emitted every year. In the process of developing this building to net zero carbon, we installed a weather station on the roof of the building, and this collected data on the temperature and wind speed and humidity of the external conditions, and will inform decisions on the design process, such as what renewable systems will work, and will also allow us to verify the savings and effectiveness of the measures that we do make. We had considered installation of a low-level wind turbine at the Training Academy, but from monitoring the wind speeds, we determined that this wouldn't be a viable investment, and we were able to rule it out because of the data from our weather station. What's currently in the design stage is an additional solar PV generation for the building, and this will consist of a carport at the front of the building, integrated with EV charging facilities, as well as more roof and ground mounted systems around the estate. We chose the Training Academy to become a net zero carbon exemplar depot, as we have a lot of visitors here, external contractors that come training, and a lot of individuals in Electricity North West come here for their corporate induction and routine training throughout their time at Electricity North West. So we really wanted to create something that really showcased Electricity North West's commitment to lowering their carbon footprint by choosing this building.
I'm Paul Bircham. I'm the Regulation and Communications Director for Electricity North West. There are things that Electricity North West can do to change the way we operate the network itself, to also help with the decarbonisation challenge, and particularly with improving the efficiency with which everybody's electricity devices in their homes operate. We've developed a particular technology at Electricity North West called Smart Street, and this controls the voltage at the lowest end of our network, so the cables that run down everybody's street and connect their homes. And by controlling that voltage, we can match the voltage to the patterns of consumption that customers are actually using day to day. Therefore, if consumers are using more electricity, say it's a dark winter's evening, then we would reduce the voltage levels by a small amount, and this would mean that everybody would consume slightly less electricity. This helps reduce the amount of energy that we need to generate, but also it helps reduce everybody's electricity bill. So there's a win-win there. We reduce carbon and we reduce bills for customers. So instead of keeping voltage at its standard 230 volts, we drop it by a few percentages. This doesn't change the way any of our electrical devices in the home operate, but it does mean that some of the parts within your electrical device that get hot don't get as hot, and that's where the energy saving comes through. So you still get the same functionality from your devices, but you use less energy to achieve that. The other thing that's really exciting about the smart street technology is that if we have more PV, photovoltaics, on the rooftops of the houses in that street, and if on a warm summer's day when electricity demand is low, but the generation of that street from all that rooftop solar is high, then we change the voltage the other way. And by increasing the voltage, we actually get more production out of all of the rooftops. So again, consumers create more electricity on their rooftops, so they get paid a little bit more for that, or they use that electricity to offset electricity that otherwise they would have to pay for. So there's another benefit financially to all of the customers, but again, we're generating more electricity from renewable sources, and that is helping us achieve our decarbonisation challenge. Smart Street is a great project, but it can't do everything. The biggest contribution we can probably make with Smart Street is between 5 and 8% energy reduction. So clearly there's a really big role for everybody else to do a lot to generate electricity from renewable sources and to reduce their energy consumption. Energy efficiency is a really great investment for businesses and makes lots of sense for customers in their homes as well. By reducing your energy consumption by fitting things such as LED light bulbs, you can actually save yourself a considerable amount of money, and we need all of those small contributions to be put alongside the contributions that we can make with the network and the businesses can make to pull together to achieve our decarbonisation challenges as a society.